we should probably have an idea of who MAGA is. Like, well, sometimes when a politician is out there in the world, sometimes they say something or do something that accidentally lets their real character slip. You know, uh, whether it be Ron DeSantis and his awkward laugh, his just inability to relate to people, or say George H.W. Bush continuing to read to the school children. By the way, I'm not even saying I would have done better in either of these situations, including the awkward laugh. But it tells you a little bit about who they are. Well, Lauren Boebert recently had one such scenario. In this case, she was dealing with people who were genuinely hurting over an issue, and they were trying to sway her with a pamphlet. Here is how she, even if you disagree with that, with whatever the person's coming to you to talk about, when they're clearly hurting, you're at least respectful of how they feel about it. One might think if you're a decent person, that's what you do. Here's how she handled it.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
So just for context, because this doesn't tell you right off the bat, what that is there is a pin with a picture of one of the children who was victims of a school shooting. That's what she was handed. Little pamphlet's got a pin in it. Says that. The picture of a deceased child. And I think these folks are making the argument that Boebert's policy caused that. So what, in your head, do you think would be the respectful thing to do? The polite thing to do, one might say. I know, it's a lost idea, being polite. What might be the polite thing to do with such a pamphlet? Even if you disagree with the policy they suggest, maybe tuck it in your coat pocket. Maybe hold on to it till you get around the corner. Or do you make a show of how little you respect these people and the dead child they are there to advocate for?
We hope you take action on gun violence prevention.
Take a picture of that.
And that, right there, is the dead child Boebert disrespected by hurling her pin in the trash can. Now, you might ask, why a pin? Why a pin? Well, I imagine it has something to do with the fact that Lauren Boebert and her filth wear AR-15 pins on the floor of Congress. That's what they do. They celebrate the weapon that killed these children. And in case you had any question, like maybe it was like the way they celebrate the cross, in that they are celebrating the sacrifice and the victim of the weapon. Now you know, right there next to what appears to be some takeout soup, she threw the image of a victim of her policies. That's who Lauren Boebert is.
God.
Yep. That's who Lauren Boebert is. So it's important you have an idea of the character of the folks you might be running against in 2024. If you start to wonder, am I viewing these people as a cartoon? There's your answer. You might be viewing them as a cartoon. That's because they're cartoon villains. Absolutely disgraceful behavior and further motivation for an absolute sweep of the House, Senate, and White House in 2024. We need that because this ideology needs to be rejected thoroughly by the American people. Yeah, for the sake of our country. Yeah, for the sake of the health of the whole rest of the world. But I'll be honest with you, equally as much for our place in the history books. There will be strong opinions held about the people alive right now by future generations. Extraordinarily strong opinions. You have the ability over the next 18 months to decide whether those strong opinions will be positive or negative.